Rehabilitation and technology ranks uppermost in Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's THEMES agenda. And one committee that has been playing a central role in the development and transformation of the face of education in Lagos State is the Special Committee on Rehabilitation of Public Schools. On this episode of Inside Lagos, we explore some of the operations of this committee in this ancient town of Badagry. Welcome to Inside Lagos. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adeniyi.
Ẹni tí ò dé kò yìn ẹkùn kan.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Ẹni ò dé kò yìn ẹkùn kan.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Mo ní pé bó o bá dé kò yìn ẹkùn kan.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Àwọn òyìnbó débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Haúsá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Àwọn Ìgbò débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Gbogbo Yorùbá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tí wọ́n mú lọ.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Ẹni ò dé kò yìn ẹkùn kan. Èkó ò ní bàjẹ́ lórí àwa.
Àwa ni Center of Excellence.
Ọ̀pọ̀ ò bá dé kò yìn ẹkùn kan.
Lagos is the smallest state in Nigeria by landmass, yet the most industrialized city in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa. In the last 2 decades, successive governments have sustained the developmental strides that Lagos is known for as the center of excellence and the envy of other cities in Nigeria. With Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu now in the driver's seat, his Project THEMES agenda has paved the way for tremendous growth for the state in all aspects of the economy. Education being one of the critical pillars of his administration, Mr. Governor has demonstrated commitment to revamping the state's education sector from primary to secondary schools and tertiary institutions. The state's investment has been massive and holistic. In the last 3.5 years, more than 1,500 projects have been inaugurated in more than 1,000 public schools with the provision of more than 100,000 furniture. Mr. Governor raised the bar of his educational transformation agenda when he inaugurated the Special Committee on the Rehabilitation of Public Schools in 2019. This committee has been doing a yeoman's job in the construction, rehabilitation, and equipping of public schools across the 6 educational districts of the state and ensuring that high-quality education is accessible to all learners, irrespective of their locations. In December last year, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu inaugurated a new 182-bed female dormitory and 12 classroom block in the State Model College, Igbokuta, Ikorodu.
Education is the most powerful weapon for which you can use to change the world. This is our belief. And for all of us in Lagos State, we continue to have substantial investment in the educational sector. We'll continue to build, we'll continue to rehabilitate, we'll continue to equip all of our schools as necessary. I'm sure you know that in our THEMES agenda, the first E in THEMES is education and technology. And so it's not by chance that we're doing what we're doing. It's deliberate from the beginning. And let me tell you today, that we believe that our students, they need the right enabling environment, they need the right skills, and they need the right knowledge to be able to compete globally. Our ranking of you is not just local, it's not just in Lagos, it's a global ranking that I want to give you.
Through the Special Committee on Rehabilitation of Public Schools, S.C.R.P.S, the governor changed the face of education infrastructure in Lagos when he inaugurated Elemoro Community Junior Secondary School in Ibejuleki area of the state. The 18-classroom block school includes a college-sized football pitch and other recreational facilities. To have a full grasp of the Lagos State educational reform, I decided to zero in on the activities of the Special Committee on Rehabilitation of Public Schools in Lagos. All roads lead to the ancient town of Badagry, a suburb coastal environment under the Lagos State Educational District 5. Our first destination was the Araromi Junior and Senior Secondary School, Araromi Ilogbo, at Okwafo, where I met the chairman of the Special Committee on Rehabilitation of Public Schools, Hakeem Smith. Hakeem Smith is one of the prime movers of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's educational infrastructural reform. He brought us up to speed with the standard of construction practice employed and quality material used in the completion of 18 blocks of classrooms in the school premises.
Building, 18 classrooms. The building has a ground, first and second floor. The foundation is a rough foundation but with a wide footing apron to complement the rough footing because we did a soil test before we started this block. What we do usually is to ensure that we do soil tests for all of our projects in S.C.R.P.S, so that we ensure that the building is founded on the right footing, using the right foundation to avoid the issue of collapse. So this soil test was done here before we started the building.
About more than 1,000 schools in Lagos State.
Yes.
I would like to know the criteria for choosing a school for rehabilitation or outright construction.
Thank you very much. This, there's something we call needs justification, which speaks to what you're actually asking. We normally go to schools to find out the number of students they have in the school. This school has about 9,000 capacity for both junior and senior secondary school. So with that, they don't have enough classrooms. The student to classroom ratio is quite high. So we need to build additional classroom blocks for them so that they can have a reduced student classroom ratio.
Do people come to complain?
No, we've established a relationship with the schools through the TGPSs or through the principals. So usually they write to us to express their needs. So once they write to us, we come around to justify their requests, justify the needs. Then we go ahead and seek Mr. Governor's, write a memo to Mr. Governor, seek Mr. Governor's approval to go ahead with the development. And that's what gives birth to some of this. And some of these, we have this little all over Lagos, all other districts, not just here alone. And even you can see that there's another development going on over there.
Okay.
It's more classrooms. So we have to, we are doing that.
Secondary school or
no, secondary school, these are all secondary school, junior and senior. So once we finish, they now rationalize it. If it's junior that we use this one, they'll take this. If it's senior that we use that, they'll take that. We leave that to the principals and the TGPSs and the Commissioner for Education to resolve. We just make sure that we deploy the building, make sure the buildings are properly done to ensure that there is no collapse, ensure that we use the right specifications and it's properly supervised. That's what we've done.
Can we just check what we have in there?
So basically, like I said, these has not been commissioned.
Okay.
So we have 18 classroom blocks. We have about 6 classrooms on the rooms on the lower floor. You can see some materials there. This is just an office and toilet. This is the staff room here. With respect to technology, I think what we've done is to keep that for some locations particularly, and that's the one we're doing at Vetland, which is the IT-driven school particularly. For instance, these schools we had a kind of a 3-pronged agenda when we started out in 2019. We had the short-term, mid-term, and long-term agenda. Apparently, so this falls into the category of the second class, because the first class is just rehabilitation, to clean out the entire environment, because we found out that A lot of the schools are in a deplorable state, and we needed to clean it out. So having done that, we needed to have extra classrooms to reduce the student classroom ratio and to make the school more conducive for learning. So this falls into that category. But with respect to technology, where we're going to be using interactive screens, iPads to teach, that is being done at one of our schools now. We are going to be putting that in some of the educational districts. We've done one at Vetland. Our typical classrooms have about 50 students. Now, unlike when you're having 80 or 100 students in a classroom. So in that kind of environment, it's quite conducive for learning, and that's what we're trying to achieve with this. You see that some schools that we have in Lagos State, they had metal windows. We took that out. We started to use these glass windows to bring in lights. So when it rains, you can at least still be in a conducive environment to learn. You don't have to rely on artificial lights before you can learn. There are ample windows in the classroom. So even without light, once the windows are opened, you're sure that you can have some fairly airy environment to learn. So we've brought in sustainability and to bring in some green initiatives to ensure that the school is conducive and is environmental friendly for the students to learn. We've done this here so that at least the student will not touch and dirty the wall easier. So that's what this is doing here. The terrazzo is to ensure that it's durable, so that when we were bringing in, the kind of furniture we're using now is a metal and HDF panels.
I'll still go to that furniture.
So the furniture is metal, so to ensure that it doesn't, when you pull that on the floor, bare floor, it's going to damage. Okay. So those furnitures have some studs, metal, some rubber studs, PVC studs. Those studs are going to prevent it from rocking on the floor, bare floor. But again, the floor is also terrazzo, it's durable, and it can withstand pressure, unlike putting tiles or using just concrete.
All right, sir. So tell us about sick bays and all of that.
Yeah, well, while conceiving this concept and this design, we knew it's necessary for us to have clinics or sick bays for schools. So each of our blocks have sick bays for students. We have about 6 bays that can actually keep about 5 or 6 students. So when any student falls sick during school hours, can actually be attended to. There's going to be a nurse at the station there that takes care of the students, so they can rest before they go back home to their parents or go to, if they need to take them to further treatment. So they have a space to take care of the students while they're in school. That's just, so every block that we do, we make provision for sick bays. This definitely is the male toilet. Male toilet facility. You can see this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toilet WCs, and we have urinals here. So on the other wing, you have for female. So also 5. So that's about 10 on the floor. On 3 floors, we have 30 toilets. And we have extra urinals for the boys here. The water is flowing, as you can see, supplied from the overhead tank and the borehole that was done by us for this project.
From here, we are going to Ipara, another public school under construction here in Badagry. So tell me more about Ipara construction. What about it?
Ipara is also a public school. Okay. It's in classroom block, just like the one that's going on there.
Okay.
It's about 15 minutes from here. Oh. So no time we'll get there. Okay. Just also reduce the student classroom ratio that I told you about. Okay. You see the same. You see the stage of work that we are doing now, and you see very soon we'll soon complete. This is another few months we'll finish it, just like that one. We have to do all of this in Badagry to ensure we reduce this classroom ratio. Okay. Thank you.
We navigate through the bad roads heading to Ipara community, a 30 minutes drive from Okwafo, where a replica of the Ara Robin School project is underway. Eighteen blocks of classroom almost ready for inauguration.
In secondary schools now, we have the principal and 2 vice principals, so we have offices for them, all en suites with their various conveniences. And I recall the time I came, the principal was actually sitting under this palm tree.
Wow.
As an office at that time. So by the time this is completed, they have a big office. The vice principals will have their offices too, and the classroom, there are 18 classrooms, aluminum windows, calcium ceiling boards, and long span aluminum roofing. You can see the structure we are doing is a frame structure. Frame structure, you can see, has columns and beams and the slabs. They are the structural elements of the building. Before we start having sanskrit block wall as cladding all around it. This is the standard approved construction methodology we are using for our projects. Before we started the project, like I told you, we had a soil test done to give us the type of foundation we are going to use. So the foundation we're using here, I think, is a rough foundation, but it was based on a soil investigation that we did. It wasn't just something we decided on our own.
With the men at work intensifying efforts to complete the projects, students can't wait to leave their old dilapidated structure. We continued our exploration of the activities of S.C.R.P.S in suburb communities in Badagry. This time, Iragon Thogli community is our destination. Iragon Thogli is a 40-minute drive from Ipara. Thogli Community Junior and Senior Grammar School is another location where 18 blocks of classroom are nearing completion, with perimeter fencing already in place.
The project is similar to what we have at Ipara Community School. This is Thogli Junior School. It has 18 classrooms with complementary staff offices and principal's offices. Like we have vice principal's offices, academics, and admin, vice principals, and the main principal's office. So we stack that at the extreme end. Then in between, after the offices, you have the vertical movement, the staircases. Then you have the toilets too. And you have the classrooms. So you have all total of about 18 classrooms here, 6 per floor. On the left side, you have the principals. On the right side, you have the toilets, and you have the staircase that takes you up, with well-sized corridor spaces and classrooms like I showed you the other time. It's also a 50 square meter classroom. We also have on the extreme, behind the block, is the canteen. Is the food shed. Where students can actually buy food when they are during break time, and also we have a gatehouse. And we can see that this environment has totally been fenced, because before they don't have any fence, it was just an open ground. So because of security, to ensure that all the things that we are going to be putting here is going to be safe, we had to put all the new fences that you're seeing around. So that's the school, and I'm sure in a few months, this will be completed. And I can see the roofing is going on now. The roofing this is long span aluminum roofing. It's a pitch roof to ensure that water doesn't come into the building. And you have the ceiling noggins as what you are seeing underneath. The roof arctic is generous to ensure that water flows off the roof easily without any leakage into the classroom spaces.
Before the arrival of S.C.R.P.S, only 1 block of classroom was built by the community, and it can be seen on the premises. A similar project is also ongoing at the State Junior and Senior Secondary School, Ibereko. Our journey would definitely be incomplete without visiting the site of the 200-bed space hostels with laundromat at Badagry Grammar School.
We have this hostel block for Badagry Grammar School. The one directly opposite is the male hostel, and the other one is the female hostel. It has 198 beds. They are bunk beds. That means we have over 98 bunks. If you multiply that by 2, you have 198. It's about 200 beds. We have house master room also to ensure that the students are properly behaved, check the students. and we have complementary toilets and bathrooms for the students. We have long corridors for access and the staircase. It's also finished with terrazzo floors, and in the hostels we have bunks. It's not just open rooms. You have the double bunk and you have the foams there for the students.
Have you been getting feedbacks from teachers and even the students on the kind of quality education they're having now compared to what they used to have? Is there any change? Have they been telling you?
Certainly, we've got
Are you getting results?
We've got testimonials. We have written testimonials. We have recorded testimonials of students confirming the fact that the school is now better, the environment is better, and they are happy.
Students are staying more in school
More in
than
school, yes.
and out of school children.
People are returning back to school. Once you know that there's school around you is not too far, because the challenge we have with school is the fact that the proximity. Once the school is too far, some parents cannot afford giving them money to fund transportation. You see some of them not going to school anymore. We have a case like that in a place like Ajegunle, in Ikorodu axis there. You see some students, when the school had problems, they were relocated to another location because that particular location had problems, water issue. So they were relocated. When they were relocated, some of them, majority of them stopped going to school.
I would like to know if this committee is just a one-off thing or is a continuous one.
I think it's continuous for two reasons. This committee had existed before. It's been existing since the great visionary, Asiwaju Ami Bolatino, continued by the next governor of Lagos State, Fashola. Then it was just last administration that was stopped and was put under another ministry. And that's why you have the state of deprivation that is so intense. So many things have gone very, very bad, unfortunately. So coming back now, I do not think it should be stopped because you see the reasons for having this committee. Because you can see the number of projects and the localities that have been able to impact has been quite huge. I mean, that over there is also a hostel and a laundromat that has never happened in Lagos State schools. Okay. Where you have a laundromat, that laundromat has a place for the students to wash, and also we have a library on top of it. The ground floor is a laundromat, on top of it is a library. So I think this committee should be a continuous one in view of what they are doing and they will be doing.
S.C.R.P.S has provided 197 schools, while 831 new classrooms have been injected into the school system. About 1,597 beds are provided in the school hostels. 151,521 units dual composite student furniture provided in the schools, including the principal and teachers' furniture. Security improvements were carried out in some poorer schools by erecting watchtower building for surveillance. Fences were constructed and panic bells and floodlights were installed in some schools with hostel accommodation to improve security.
My school is located at number 9 at Tudor Street, and it's a big school. There is a junior school and a senior school there. We have 16 teachers in my school, 2 VPs and 1 principal, sir. This school was not like this before because they didn't have the basic facilities, but now we are having basic facility and it's better. The wash hand basin and the good toilets, proper toilets and furniture. Thank you, Mr. Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. I'm very grateful, sir. God bless you, sir.
Now the classroom is more spacious and with the beautiful environment, the painting, the flooring, we don't have all this dust entering into the children and they are having crisis. So the teaching and learning have really improved. Children are always very happy to enter into the classroom to sit, and the S.C.R.P.S even gave us furniture. So in conjunction with Lagos State government. So the furnitures are really helping us because now they sit two and giving room for learning process to be very easy for them. Mr. Governor, we say very big thank you to you, sir. And like schools, we are always Oliver Twist. We want more.
Lagos residents believe that this will not only improve the quality of education, but would also help in reducing the number of out-of-school children in the country. Education, they say, is the passport to the future. And for the Lagos State government, it is a very essential ingredient of its greater Lagos agenda and will continue to prioritize education and also leveraging technology to bring about a holistic reform in this sector. And that does it on today's edition of Inside Lagos. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adeniyi. See you next time.